Amazing job. So this is going well then. Good. Thank you very much. Seems like we might have time for me to come out there for questions. Anyone?
Are you going to pitch something, or are you just?
What was that?
Are you going to pitch a business model to us? Or?
Yeah. So I've got this. No, I'm good. This thing called Mashable. Have you heard of it? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. One guy. Nice. Thank you. So let's kick it off right immediately to Catchafire. So enjoy.
Hi, I'm Rachel Chong, the founder and CEO of Catchafire, an online platform that connects social good organizations to professionals who want to give their time and their skills pro bono. So what is the problem we're trying to solve? On one side of our marketplace, 95% of nonprofits say that they need and want access to pro bono services, but they're not knowing where to go to access these services. On the other side of the marketplace, there are millions of professionals who want to volunteer their on-the-job skills for good, but can't find a way to do so. I was one of these people as an investment banker wanting to volunteer my financial skills, but not finding a way to do so. How is this possible when amazing sites like Idealist, Volunteer Match, All for Good, and Taproot exist? The problem is that nonprofits have a hard time breaking down their skills-based needs into manageable volunteer projects. If they're not able to do this, how can they post these projects on sites like Idealist or Volunteer Match? This means that busy people who want to give their skills can't find an easy way to do so. So what's the solution? Catchafire. Catchafire is designed for the talented and busy professional who wants a meaningful experience. The way we do this is through creating a project template that makes it easy for people to do projects that are pre-scoped, short-term, and flexible. Then we match you as a professional, your skills and your causes to projects that are tailored to who you are. We match you with organizations that are invested and trained in pro bono management, so you're working only with the best organizations who are promising to use your time and your skills well. And what does it mean that they're invested? It means that organizations pay us a membership fee to access our talent, and this makes sure that they have skin in the game. And what do the organizations get in return? They get access to talent that they otherwise could never afford, such as marketing help, social media help, technology help, design help, and even multimedia help. An outsourced human resources department, meaning that we recruit, vet, and match organizations to the perfect professional for the job. Okay, you get it. But how big can this really get? In New York City alone, we've registered nearly 1,800 organizations and nearly 10,000 professionals. If each organization, which is true, pays us an average of $5,000 per annual membership, and there are about 2 million social good organizations in the United States, these are nonprofits and social enterprises, then you see a target addressable market of $10 billion annually. Another way to look at it is that there are 2 million organizations who are on average taking on 4 Catchafire projects a year, where the value of a project is on average $7,500, which means that we're potentially unlocking $60 billion in pro bono services. This is $60 billion in services that are going to the causes that are most important to our society: education, children, poverty, environment. And there are valuable intangibles, meaning a smarter, more resource-efficient nonprofit sector, and a movement of people who will become lifelong givers. So come join the Catchafire party and give what you're good at today at www.catchafire.org. Thank you.
I guess I'll go ahead and get this round started.
Sure.
Can we get moving? I want to make sure we're cool on the clock. First of all, jazzy PowerPoint, right? Don't you love it? I love moving all around. Points for the jazzy
Yeah, it's great
PowerPoint.
that there's a PowerPoint now that reflects my note-taking structure, and I was right there with the story.
For a minute there, I thought I was at Star Tours. It was great. I love the fact that you want to connect the resource with the need.
Yes.
I'm one of those nonprofits, and I get it. I want those pro bono services. Many times, however, you've got talent who work for a big bad organization of some kind that says you can't go out and volunteer your time for do-gooder A or nonprofit B because you have to work under the umbrella of the ship that pays your check every week. How do you and Catchafire how can you bring out talent that works for a large consulting firm or a financial services firm or a retail firm, and how do you help broker them to get free, for lack of a better term, so they can actually help?
That's a great question, but I actually challenge your statement that corporations do not want their employees to give what they're good at. And an example of this are the companies that are coming to Catchafire interested in providing their employees with access to pro bono services. So for instance, I used to work at Goldman Sachs and at UBS, and while I was there, they gave me the opportunity
You
to
got away with
build a
mentioning
house.
Goldman Sachs without getting booed there, which was quite impressive.
Well,
She was redeemed. You see that she was redeemed.
I'm glad you're doing
and
this.
credit derivative sales, so that's
Can
another
they put
boo.
skin in the game as well? Because the nonprofit needs to put in some skin in the game. Can the organization with pro bono services also put some skin in the game?
Their skin in the game is the fact that they're paying for the service, so they're paying Catchafire to provide their employees with access to pro bono services. Pro bono opportunities. So for instance, again, when I was a banker, the only thing I could do was build a house for Habitat for Humanity, which is a great thing, and I think it's very important. But for me, 5'2", 110 pounds, building a house is kind of not the best use of my time. So while I was there, I wanted to figure out how to volunteer my financial skills.
Got it.
No way to do so. Goldman Sachs provides me as a banker with that opportunity, and they're making me happy, and so I don't quit my job, so I can stay at this job and give back at the same time. So for employee engagement, employee retention, and happiness, it's a really win-win situation.
And Rachel, can you talk a little bit more about the process of matching the individual with the organization for a project?
Yeah, for sure. So it's a really seamless and easy process. So as a professional, you come to Catchafire, you register, meaning that we use the LinkedIn API to grab your resume data. You tell us what causes you're interested in. You can even identify which nonprofits you're interested in. And once we as Catchafire have that snapshot of who you are, we push projects to you that match your skill sets and your cause interests. So for instance, you're a designer and you care about environment and education. We're matching you with design projects in those areas, and then when you see a match that you like, you apply to that project, meaning that you answer 3 simple questions. The nonprofit gets to see this application and your profile, and then they're selecting you and the match is made.
Well, I mean, I think this is a brilliant idea, and it obviously addresses a very real problem. Are you a for-profit or a non-profit?
We are proud to be a for-profit.
Okay. Is there not something paradoxical about a for-profit organization selling pro bono services?
If you look at it,
To non-profits.
it depends on how you look at it, right? I think it's actually paradoxical if sometimes being a nonprofit is paradoxical, and what I mean by that is we as a for-profit are able to focus on our customer being the nonprofit organization and the professional. If I was a nonprofit, I'd be catering to my donor, but as a for-profit, I'm catering to my customer. The interesting thing about our model is that in the beginning, I actually spent a lot of time deciding whether or not to be a nonprofit or for-profit. And even if we decided to go the nonprofit route, we would still charge the nonprofit. And the reason why this is so important to not only our business model, but the entire concept of Catchafire is that we believe that volunteering is a two-way street, meaning that not only is the professional investing 30 to 50 hours of their time for free, but I want to make sure that if they're giving that massive gift, that the organization on the other side is just as serious to make this project work. And what better than to make them feel a little bit of pain by investing a small membership fee to access talent that delivers them services that are 10 times more than what they're paying.
Okay, you have 4 seconds left. Can you,
Well-
can you describe to us the difference between being a banker and social entrepreneur?
Well, it's much more fun to be a social entrepreneur. As a banker, I was sitting behind a desk for up to 18 hours a day, and I still do that sometimes. But every time I do that as a social entrepreneur, I know that the time I'm putting in has potentially a massive positive social impact.
What's proprietary about your business?
Nothing.
So what's not?
Hang on, we need judges coming in. Time's up. No, we want to bring the audience in, do we? Oh, Yossi wants to hear from you.
Yeah, we should involve the audience. you heard about the...
This is
the
Catchafire in
wisdom-
action, I guess, isn't it? As it
Matthew,
spreads
you
out
heard
into the
about the
audience.
wisdom of the crowd. They are much smarter than us, so let them talk.